Hello everyone. So I'm finally back, and I must say I have lost all motivation to keep going with this. I did have some things going on personally, and but truthfully, more so than anything, I lost all motivation. But I thought I'd maybe come back to this again, and I'm using my phone to do this now because my desktop, as you've heard, doesn't sound great, and my tablet is very, the audio is really clippy. So this way you'll get even sound at least. So I thought I'd react to this video. Are humans carnivores or herbivores? Let's just get into it.
My name is Klaus Leitzmann. I'm a professor of nutrition in Germany, and I'd like to invite all of you to watch the Veggie channel as often as you can, because it will be for your very benefit. In the question as to what is the proper food for mankind, you always can look at evolution. And one of the good ways to get an answer to this question, what is really made for us by nature, is to compare typical meat eaters in the animal kingdom and typical plant eaters in the...
I hate this argument. I know what he's going to say. I actually watched part of this. I hate this argument so freaking much because it's like, how do you know? You don't know just by looking at them. By simply looking at their skull structures and things like that. Maybe. But even then, I don't know. It's ridiculous. This argument is completely insane. I can't with these people who let's just look at them. You have to do deeper analysis than just looking. Come on, people. You have to look at other things too. And there's deeper analyses that go along with that.
Animal kingdom with humans. And to look at our anatomical and physiological aspects. That is, for instance, if you look at our teeth, you see big difference between...
See, we have teeth for each material. We have teeth for ripping meat off a bone. You know how when you get the chicken on the bone, right? Do you use your side teeth to rip it off? I'm sure all of you that have your front teeth still, you grab it with your front teeth and just rip it off. Yeah. And then you chew with your side teeth, right? And those side teeth are also good for I don't know. There's teeth we have for plants as well. I don't know. I don't even understand this whole argument. There's deeper things that I actually understand more. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's the only word I can really say.
Animals that eat fruits and animals that eat meat. If you look at the tongue, at the saliva, at our stomach, you can look at many organs and then make a comparison.
Oh God, such a stupid claim. You realize that deer and cattle and sheep and goats and llamas and alpacas, they have multiple chambers in their stomach. Deer have 4, cattle have 4, sheep have 4, llamas and alpacas have 3. And then the ones that eat mostly plants, the way that They might have a one-chambered stomach, but they also have a bigger cecum, bigger colon. Like, we don't have the same size.
What is man more closely related to? To meat eaters or to plant eaters? And the answer is we are much more closely related to plant eaters.
What is Cro-Magnon for $200? I'm sure the Cro-Magnons, especially living in Europe, ate a lot, and I mean a lot, of meat, especially in the winter, especially before the times of agriculture, because the Cro-Magnons came about, I think, 40 to 50,000 years ago, and that was in a time where we hadn't came across agriculture yet, right? Agriculture started as early as like maybe 20,000 years, 15 to 20,000 years at the earliest, at the latest rather. Then, wait, is it? No, I'm reversing it. So it's at the earliest, we think maybe 20,000 years ago, but at the latest, maybe 10,000 years. So like, after that, like before then, it was like, what? What is this?
So I think this is one of the orientations that we can use to decide what is the proper food for us. Because if you read textbooks or talk to many experts from different fields, they will always say, man is an omnivore.
Yes. So your question doesn't even make any sense, because your question, I have it in my watch later. That's why it says it's showing like, are humans carnivores or herbivores? We are omnivores. Your question is not even worded correctly. You are an omnivore. You're not an herbivore, and you're not a carnivore. But guess what? We fall into the category of facultative carnivore, which means we can live predominantly on meat and be okay. We're not facultative herbivores, because if we were facultative herbivores, then we'd be able to live on plants and never deteriorate, never suffer. No one would be quitting being a vegan. No one. Because we would be doing perfectly fine. Everybody would be vegan. Everybody. Everybody. And they'd be perfectly happy being vegan. Nobody would be quitting if we were facultative herbivores. Nobody would be quitting. No one. We can't live on being vegan because, like, long term especially, because we are not designed to be vegan. We're not designed to be vegan. We are facultative carnivores. We are still omnivores. It doesn't mean we are carnivores, but we can live as a carnivore. An obligate carnivore, on the other hand, can't eat plants at all without getting super sick. I think they might use a little bit for like medicinal purposes, maybe to make themselves puke or whatever. Their stomach just can't handle it. Okay? Facultative carnivore means you can live on plants for a decent amount of time, but you will deteriorate.
That means he eats plants and animal products.
Exactly.
And in fact, man is able to digest both and live off both.
Exactly.
But I think these indications that we are...
Do you hear how slow he is too? Like, listen to his speech. I don't know if it's the language barrier or if he is so dang slow that he is even hard for me to continue talking that way. So I'm just gonna talk at my normal speed. And for those who might find I talk too fast, there should be a setting in YouTube to slow me down. but he would be unbearable to listen to.
Eat more as plant eaters is a good orientation. The typical omnivores in the animal kingdoms are pigs and rats, because
I need to go back. I missed something because I was like, my mind was like distracted there. Shoot. I'm in full screen and for some reason I can't go back. Oh. I need to go back.
to decide what is the proper food for us. It's plants and animal products. And in fact, man is able to digest both and live off both. But I think these indications that we are made more as plant eaters is a good orientation.
Yeah, no. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. Are you forgetting about hydrogen or nitrogen 15 isotopes?
The typical omnivores in the animal kingdoms are pigs and rats.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. But guess what else is an omnivore? A chimp. They eat bugs, grasshoppers, termites, things like that. Ants. I don't know if they eat grasshoppers. Maybe. I know they eat ants and termites. Orangutans. Ants and termites. Gorillas. There's a family of gorillas that I actually watched on a David Attenborough documentary. They were seen heading out to the river, to a lagoon, or was it a lagoon or a river? I can't remember. To collect shark eggs. And guess what they did with them? Did they use them to decorate their homes? No. Did they play with them? No. Did they wear them on their head? No. They ate them. They ate shark eggs. Gorillas eat shark eggs. They are omnivore. Ding, 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 ding.
Because they eat everything, like man does. And maybe for the survival of man,
Oh my God. We still need to survive. How can we need to thrive, even. How come we just think about surviving when we have more demands on us nowadays? We can't even go through modern day life. Think about these vegans now, especially the long-term ones. You can tell they're starting to get tired and stuff, right? They can barely handle everyday tasks. If they think they can, they're an idiot. Seriously. Oh, these people.
over the millions of years, it was necessary to...
It still freaking is. Okay, guess why? I don't convert plant iron at all. I don't convert any of them. I can only eat I have to eat meat for iron, and my display here is acting up, so I gotta go to full screen for a moment. But I have to eat plant foods sparingly because I can't digest them very well at all. I can't digest them at all very well. My bowels hate me for it now. I almost have to live exclusively on animal products. I drink plant drinks, and I eat maybe a few things with a bit of plant product in them. But for the most part, I'm what they call relaxed carnivore. Try again, pal. Try again.
eat whatever was available. So man always has been very...
Deer will eat little chicks during the winter if they have to. or during times of scarcity. But they don't have to. They don't have to. They could continue eating the tree bark. They could. They could just go searching for a new area and eat there. But no. They'll eat little chicks instead. What's your point? Because there's a difference between being able to convert something in your body and eating something for survival. Just to survive, just to make it. I was dying!
Opportunistic in eating what was available in the environment. And indeed, we have examples, if you look in different regions of the world, that we have people that eat only plants, like in southern India, very...
That tribe, though, that you said was vegan for 5,000 years, guess what they did? They used goat skins. And I bet you they made bone broth out of the goat bones, and I'm sure they ate the milk, and maybe they even drank the blood, and ate the livers, and ate the meats. No, I'm not buying your claims at all.
Typical also in some African countries. And on the other hand,
African countries, they eat everything. They eat literally everything. The only time they ever eat plants, and plants only, is if they're starving and they can't find anything to hunt.
we do have meat eaters, like the Inuits in Alaska, but if
There's no but here. We are facultative carnivores.
you compare these two groups of people, you also have to ask the question, how is their health and how long do they live?
You have to also ask, what were the conditions like during those times? What are the conditions like now? Alaska, it's harder because they have to hunt. They literally have to hunt for their food. Have you ever watched the last Alaskans on Discovery? The Last Alaskans. I don't know if they air it anymore, but it was a show on there before. I watched that show. They were hunting almost every show. It's real life up there. That's what they have to do all the time. They're lucky if they ever get a chance to get out into the cities. It's so hard for them. They're living in high stress environments all the time. And think about what's going on in Africa. Think about all that stuff too. What is wrong with these people?
And there's no question about it, that the plant eaters do live longer.
You know deep down they're not just eating plants, you disgusting piece of crap. I can't stand people like this who just outright say this stuff. No backups. They're not like, how do you know? How do you know? What about the vegans who died in their 50s? One died at 51. Another died at 56. What about them? Not buying it.
And I think we have evidence from people living in, under normal circumstances. For instance, if you compare the population of California, the vegetarians that live in the Loma Linda region, and compare those with the rest of California, that means under the same political, economical, and geographical conditions, the vegetarians in Loma Linda live on average 9.3 years longer than do the meat eaters. So
I don't believe you whatsoever. I'm sure they're eating meat. Maybe fish. I know fish is meat too, but some people don't like to classify fish as meat. I don't know, I'm not buying it. But you know what the meat eaters are probably doing as well? Probably doing drugs, drinking alcohol, smoking, partying, eating chips and junk food. Do you know how little meat they eat though? as well. They don't eat mostly meat like humans are supposed to. You see it in the Asians. The Asians who eat the smallest amounts of meat are very, very short, very, very unhealthy, you know. And the Asians who eat more meat, mostly meat, are much healthier, I think they're much happier too, honestly.
I think that's another indication that plant eating is good for us.
I'm not saying don't eat plants, guys, but don't base your diet around plants.
There has always been the argument, especially with vegetarians, that it is not only the food, but...
Oh, in India, by the way, vegetarians are anemic out there. Even in India, clearly there's something wrong with vegetarianism. Why are people ignoring Weston A. Price's information? Read the freaking book.
Also the lifestyle. And indeed, vegetarians in many cases don't smoke, drink little alcohol.
Well, see, that's good, sure. But what about the meat eaters who don't smoke, drink alcohol, or any of that stuff? What about them? You're forgetting completely about them. What about the meat eaters who don't eat junk food and just eat meats, veggies, maybe a little fruit? What about those? Haven't really mentioned those, have you?
Who exercise and are not so often overweight as you find in the general population.
Yeah, because vegetarians are typically underweight or on the thinner side. Like, maybe they're just at a decent weight, but I think sometimes they can be underweight too. Because I know of a woman who's 5'7". She's a vegetarian. I think she said she's 5'7" and only 110 pounds. Horribly, horribly underweight. I think that's very dangerous.
And I think one has...
And she only eats dairy. She doesn't eat eggs. She doesn't eat any eggs. So that probably doesn't help much either.
To consider these other influences, but probably is nutrition the most important factor that causes this longevity. There have been these studies on the blue zones. Have you heard of...
Oh my God! Go to Greece. Go to Greece. Go to Crete. Okay? Go to Crete. Look at what they eat there. Okay? Look at what the elderly in particular eat there. Look at what they eat. Watch them. Don't just take information off the internet or just a book that you read. Don't stop spitting crap out. Go and actually look at what they're eating. You piece of disgusting crap. Go there.
About the blue zones. The blue zones is a very interesting concept. There was an Italian and an Irish scientist that decided they wanted to find out where people on Earth live the longest. And interestingly enough, it is usually people that live on islands. Like...
But what do they eat besides the plants on that island?
Okinawa, Japan, Crete in Greece.
Yes, but have you been there? Have you been to Crete? Have you been to Okinawa? Have you been there? I doubt it.
Sardinia, Italy, but also...
And have you been to Italy, in particular like southern Italy, where they still can maintain most of their old traditional diet? Have you been there? I don't think so. Suck on it.
So Nicosia in Greece also, and an island on the coast of Costa Rica in South America. Those have been the longest living people in terms of how many people reach the age of 100 years.
Yes, guess what they eat in Crete? I saw a video on it. Look up diet in Crete. Maybe you might actually find it. What is the diet? What is the diet? There's actually an in-depth video that it destroys this plant-only myth. There is a video out there somewhere. There is.
Now, there has been a list of these islands or of these blue zones where Okinawa was on top of the list. And it was followed by, I think, by Crete, and then Sardinia, and then Costa Rica. That was about the sequence of the age of these people. And recently, in the last 10 years, the top of the list is now Loma Linda. Not because Loma Linda or its people have changed their lifestyle or eating very much. They have always been living like this. But because on these islands, they don't eat anymore like they used to. Now they eat Western foods. They eat
Exactly, lab-created foods. That is the real problem here. Not what you're saying it is, you dipstick.
fast food, and they don't have quite the same amount of physical activity. And the life expectancy has gone down. Now, life expectancy in itself is actually not a...
So there you go. I don't even have to continue if I don't want to. In fact, let's see how much is left of this nonsense. 6 minutes. 7 minutes. So there's a minute left pretty much. I almost don't even have to keep going anymore. You already destroyed your entire argument by saying they've been eating Western food. Yeah. Yeah. I can't. But I will.
An important goal in life. The most important thing about getting to an older age is to be healthy in older age. Because what does it help you if you live for a long time and have to stay for 10 or 20 years in the hospital or in bed or...
No, not necessarily. Not if you eat meat, veggies, maybe a little fruit if you can handle it. These people. Bread is and was always the problem, especially 10,000 years ago. When you look at the Egyptians, they were eating lots of bread. Lots of bread. Yes, they had meat and lard and stuff, but they were eating lots of bread. That's what caused the problems all of a sudden. That's why we never saw these problems 100,000 years ago, maybe even 50,000 years ago. We never saw these heart problems that we have now. Oh my God.
Incapacitated. And this is the other great benefit of plant eaters, that they have a long life in good health. Man is a subject of nature, and man is a subject of culture. And during our culture development,
he can't speak. Like I said, I don't know if it's a language thing or if he just literally cannot speak, but he is painful.
we have learned to process foods because it improves the taste, or at least change the taste.
And that is what's causing our problems, not the frickin' meat, you dipstick.
And also you can eliminate some of the problematical substances. But food processing nowadays has reached a degree where it doesn't have an advantage, it has more of a disadvantage.
Exactly. Oh my God. So, that's that. That is that. So, that dipstick, I won't give him any more watches. Oh my gosh. Don't ever talk to me about friggin', I'm sorry, you're probably seeing all my stuff here. But he's just ridiculous. He's stupid. He is uneducated. He is out of his mind. Yep. Okay. Well, that's it for that video. I can't with him anymore. That was the worst, most painful video I ever reacted to. Very, very slow, and he cannot get one word out. Anyways, that's it for this. Hope you enjoyed, and I'm sorry I've been away for so long. But yeah, I'm planning to come back. Hopefully more frequently. I can't make any promises, clearly. But I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye.